A luxury restaurant. Candlelight flickers. Elegant couples sip wine. Silver cutlery clinks gently. The ambience is pure class. And then. Crash. A water glass shatters. The room freezes. All heads turn. Standing in the middle of the dining floor is Zara Williams, a 26-year-old black waitress, trembling slightly as water drips down her apron. Her deep brown eyes widen, but she says nothing. Across from her, towering in a designer suit and red-faced with fury, is Preston Maddox, a billionaire tech mogul known for building empires and destroying reputations. "Are you completely incompetent?" Preston bellows. "This suit is worth more than your monthly salary." The restaurant falls into a stunned silence. Even the pianist stops playing. Zara's hands tighten on the tray she's holding. Her knuckles pale. But her expression? Calm. Steady. Almost sad. The restaurant manager rushes over, sweating. "Mr. Maddox, please, let me." "No. I want her fired. Tonight. You hear me?" Preston growls. The other guests stare. A few pull out their phones. Some are too stunned to move. But Zara doesn't flinch. She doesn't cry. She doesn't argue. She takes one small step forward, looks Preston in the eye, and says just one sentence. "Your mother used to clean houses to feed you. Would she be proud of you right now?" Silence. You could hear a fork drop. Preston freezes. His face drains of color. The entire room holds its breath. Narration begins, voiceover tone, calm, emotional, reflective. We live in a world obsessed with status. Where power often drowns out humility. And where too many forget the very hands that once held them up. But on this night, in this elegant restaurant, one young woman with nothing to her name reminded a billionaire of everything he'd lost. And it all began with a broken glass. Dove scene transition, 48 hours earlier. Let's rewind time. Before the confrontation. Before the headlines. Zara Williams woke up that morning at 5:30 a.m. in a cramped one-bedroom apartment on the south side of the city. She made her usual breakfast, toast, a boiled egg, and tea. Quiet. Efficient. Focused. She didn't have time for dreams. Not anymore. After her mom passed, Zara dropped out of college to raise her little brother, Amir. He's 10 now. Brilliant. Full of questions. Always asking her about galaxies, equations, and how airplanes fly. "Zara, are rich people happy all the time?" "I don't know, baby. But I think kind people sleep better." She always answered honestly. She had to. Because life hadn't been kind to them. But every morning, Zara walked into La Blanche, the city's most expensive restaurant, with dignity. The staff didn't know she had holes in her sneakers. They didn't see her walking 30 minutes in the cold just to save bus fare for groceries. They just saw her, polished, quiet, and dependable. But today she was scheduled to serve table 14. The VIP table. Reserved for the elite. For titans. For billionaires. Round pushpin cut to Preston Maddox, 48 hours earlier. Across town, in a skyscraper made of glass and ego, Preston Maddox was barking orders into his phone. "Sell the shares. I don't care. If they cry, let them cry into their golden parachutes." He was brilliant. Ruthless. Feared. But lately, things weren't adding up. His company was under scrutiny. A whistleblower report. A federal investigation. His PR team begged him to lie low. But Preston never did quiet. Dinner. La Blanche. Make a scene if I have to. He needed control. Domination. He needed to remind people, he was still the king. Candle cut to, the night of the incident. Back at the restaurant, Zara triple-checked everything. Napkins folded just right. Water chilled. Menu memorized. As Preston entered, the staff tensed. Everyone whispered. That's him. That's Maddox. The billionaire who ruined half of Silicon Valley. Zara approached his table with the same grace she used for every customer. But something about him felt colder than usual. Harsher. Like a storm brewing behind those eyes. She asked if he wanted still or sparkling. He looked her up and down. Do I look like someone who drinks tap water? She blinked. Steadied her breath. I'll bring sparkling, sir. The night continued with tension. Every step she took, she felt his eyes on her. Watching. Judging. And then, the water glass slipped. Just one mistake. One drop of water. And it all came crashing down. The yelling. The humiliation. The silence. And her sentence. Your mother used to clean houses to feed you, would she be proud of you right now? Brain everyone froze. Even the other billionaires. The influencers. The executives with seven-figure watches. They looked at Preston, not with admiration, but with disgust. He couldn't speak. He couldn't move. That sentence. It hit him in a place he'd buried for decades. He remembered the woman who used to clean 6 houses a day to buy him shoes. The woman who whispered, "Stay humble, Preston. Pride breaks hearts." The woman whose hands bled so his could type on a laptop. She was gone now. And he had become the very thing she warned him about. Movie camera end of Act 1 hook. Narrator voiceover. What happened next would make headlines. But it wasn't about revenge. It was about revelation. And how one woman's quiet truth cracked open the armor of a billionaire. Not with rage. But with a sentence rooted in dignity, memory, and love, the layers begin to peel back. The audience learns the pain behind the billionaire's anger and the strength behind the waitress's silence. Candle scene, the restaurant aftermath. Zara quietly steps back from the table, her face unreadable. The restaurant remains frozen. The manager stammers, "Zara, can I speak with you for a moment?" But before she can respond, Preston stands up, adjusts his soaked blazer, and throws his linen napkin on the table. We're done here. He walks out, jaw clenched, but inside, he's spiraling. Camera with flash cutaway montage, no dialogue, emotional score playing. Preston inside his sleek black town car, staring blankly out the window. Zara in the staff restroom, leaning on the sink, her breathing shallow but her spine straight. Zara walking home later that night under dim streetlights, gripping her coat tight to her chest. Preston in his penthouse, surrounded by city lights and silence. Movie camera flashback, Preston, age 13. He was a skinny boy in ragged shoes. His mother, Lorraine Maddox, scrubbed a bathroom floor as he sat in the corner with a lunchbox. "Mama, when I'm rich, you'll never have to do this again." Lorraine smiled. "Baby, I don't mind working. What I mind, is forgetting where you came from." Her eyes were warm. Firm. Protective. "Don't let money make you cruel, Preston. Kindness will feed you longer than any bank account ever could." Performing arts present day, Preston's breakdown. Back in his penthouse, Preston pours himself a drink. He can't sleep. He replays Zara's sentence over and over again. Would she be proud of you right now? It's not just a sentence, it's a wound. And it's bleeding. He stares at a dusty photo on his bookshelf, his mother, standing beside him at his college graduation. The next morning, he does something he hasn't done in 15 years, he visits her grave. Scene, Lorraine Maddox's grave. The cemetery is quiet. Overgrown. Modest. Preston kneels down. For a long time, he says nothing. Then. I forgot, Mama. I forgot everything. His voice cracks. His mask shatters. You'd hate who I've become. Behind him, a caretaker pauses. It's early morning, he wasn't expecting anyone this soon. But the caretaker recognizes Preston. And quietly, he walks away, giving the billionaire space to break. Cooking scene, Zara's morning. Back at her apartment, Zara is cooking eggs for her brother, Amir. He notices her tired eyes. Zara, did something bad happen at work? She forces a smile. No, sweetheart. Just, some people forget their manners sometimes. He frowns. You didn't cry. She shakes her head. Not in front of them. He walks over and hugs her tight. You're the bravest person I know. Mobile phone with arrow scene, social media goes wild. Unknown to both of them, someone in the restaurant recorded the entire incident. The clip hits social media the next day. A black waitress calmly standing her ground, a billionaire humiliated by a single sentence. The internet explodes. Tweets, headlines, blog posts. Waitress breaks billionaire with one sentence. Powerful response to public humiliation goes viral. Who is Zara Williams? Some cheer her. Others question the billionaire's history. Reporters start digging. Brain scene, Preston watches the clip. He sits alone in his office, staring at his phone. He watches the clip. Then watches it again. He doesn't feel angry. He feels exposed. For the first time, Preston sees himself through the public's eyes, and he's ashamed. But more than that, he sees her. Zara. Calm. Dignified. Controlled. Not weak. Not defiant. Just unshakable. She could have screamed. She could have cried. But she gave me the truth. He looks around his office, modern art, gold accents, tech awards. Suddenly, it all feels meaningless. Eyes seen, Zara called into the office. At work, Zara is summoned to the manager's office. She assumes she's about to be fired. But instead, the manager looks nervous. Zara, we've had calls from media outlets. People want interviews. Some want to offer you speaking engagements. Anne. He pauses, hesitating. Preston Maddox sent flowers. And this. He slides a personal letter across the desk. Zara doesn't touch it. He said he wants to apologize. Privately. Envelope with arrow cut to, the letter. We hear Preston's voice reading it, over a montage of Zara sitting on a bench outside, staring at the unopened envelope. I built empires but forgot how to be human. Your sentence didn't humiliate me, it freed me from the lie I was living. I was raised by a woman like you. And I dishonored her memory. I am deeply sorry. If you let me. I want to listen. Not to fix things. But to understand. Studio microphone scene, the interview offer. A popular podcast host reaches out to Zara. People want to hear your voice, Zara. You reminded the world that silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. She's overwhelmed. She never wanted fame. Just peace. But her story is no longer hers alone, it's ignited a conversation. Can I think about it? She asks. Direct hit end of ACT 2, rising tension and emotional core set. Narrator voiceover. What happens when the invisible speak? When the powerful are humbled? When one sentence becomes a mirror, and a movement. Preston Maddox came to a restaurant expecting perfection. Instead, he was served a lesson in humanity. And Zara was about to realize just how powerful her quiet strength truly was. It's been 7 days since the video went viral. Zara walks into La Blanche's back entrance. Her apron is folded neatly over her arm, but something about her is different. She's no longer invisible. Her name is trending. Strangers are sending messages. Podcasters want interviews. Nonprofits want her as a speaker. But she's not sure she wants any of it. The restaurant manager approaches nervously. Zara, Mr. Maddox is here. He made a private reservation, and asked for you personally. She exhales. Calm, but guarded. Seat him. I'll come. Candle scene, private dining room. Preston sits alone. This time, no suit. No entourage. Just a man with too much money, and far too little peace. Zara walks in, head high, expression calm. They lock eyes. Zara, he says, standing slowly. Thank you for coming. She remains silent. He gestures to the chair across from him. Please. Just listen. That's all I ask. Performing arts. Preston's monologue, the unraveling. He speaks. When I was 12, I saw my mother collapse from exhaustion. She'd been scrubbing floors since sunrise. I swore I'd build a life where no one I loved would ever be that tired again. He swallows hard. But I didn't build an empire. I built a prison. For myself. For everyone around me. I forgot the very lessons that shaped me. Zara watches him carefully. Still quiet. When you said that sentence, I heard my mother's voice. I remembered who I was. And who I never wanted to become. His voice breaks. No more bravado. I came here today, not to erase what happened. But to face it. To say I'm sorry. And to ask, how do I begin to be better? Brain. Zara's reply, strength in stillness. She sits back. Folds her hands on the table. You want to be better? Stop apologizing with flowers and letters. Start fixing the systems you benefit from. Preston looks up. You mean the restaurant? I mean the world, she says, voice firm. Start with how you treat people. With how your companies treat people. Dignity isn't charity, it's justice. There's no malice in her tone. Just truth. You looked at me that night and saw a mistake. But what you didn't see, is that I've been carrying this weight my whole life. Fire. Zara's backstory. Finally revealed. My mom was a nurse's assistant. She worked nights. Took double shifts. She died when I was 19. I dropped out of college to raise Amir. I clean floors, serve food, and walk home alone at night so my brother can stay in school. Her voice shakes slightly. But she stays composed. You saw a waitress. I am a guardian, a provider, a survivor. Preston's eyes fill. Slowly, reverently, he nods. You're more than I ever was. Zara pauses. Not more. Just human. Just like your mother. Turning point, the offer. Preston reaches into his jacket and slides over a folder. I want to fund your brother's education. Fully. And if you're willing. I'd like to create a foundation in your name, one that supports working-class women in cities like this. Managed by a board you help select. Zara hesitates. Why me? Because you reminded me that power means nothing if it doesn't protect the people who build it. She studies the folder. Only if it's not charity. If it's accountability. If it creates jobs, scholarships, safe transport. Not just photo ops. Preston nods. Agreed. Camera with flash scene, the world reacts. News breaks. Former waitress inspires billionaire to launch justice fund for working women. The Zara Foundation opens with $10 million seed grant. Viral moment turns into real-world change. People don't forget the video, but now they follow the movement. Zara doesn't chase fame. She still walks Amir to school. Still shops with coupons. But now, she's seen. Fred flashback voiceover, Zara on podcast interview. That night wasn't about revenge. It was about recognition. You never know who someone is, until they remind you who you are supposed to be. Cut to Preston sitting in the audience, watching Zara speak at a community college. We don't need saviors. We need systems that serve. And people who remember their roots. It's 3 weeks later. A banner reads, Voices of the Working Class, hosted by the Zara Foundation. A modest auditorium, packed. Community leaders, journalists, college students, mothers, and workers fill the seats. Even national media has shown up. Zara walks to the podium in a simple navy blouse and jeans. I was never trying to go viral, she begins softly. I was just tired of being treated like I was invisible. She pauses. Some people think silence is weakness. But silence can also be strength, when you use it to hold up dignity. The audience leans in. Many are crying. That one sentence didn't come from anger. It came from memory. My mother used to say, be the mirror they avoid. Sooner or later, they'll have to look. Newspaper cut to, national media reactions. News outlets replay the clip of Zara's speech and her confrontation with Preston. Headlines sweep across the country. The waitress who changed a billionaire. Zara Williams sparks wave of corporate reckonings. Why everyone's talking about the mirror moment. Political commentators begin discussing wage inequality, worker protections, and racial bias in service industries. Major corporations scramble to adjust PR strategies. CEOs issue statements on equity. Some are performative. Some are sincere. But the impact is undeniable. Briefcase scene, corporate pushback. Not everyone is thrilled. Preston is called into a closed-door meeting with his board of directors. You're donating how much? This is bad optics. Makes us look guilty. Are we letting a waitress dictate our philanthropy now? Preston listens. Calm. Then says. She's not dictating it. She inspired it. And maybe guilt is what we need to feel for a while. The room goes silent. We built wealth on the backs of invisible labor. It's time we start paying our debt. A few executives resign that day. Preston doesn't stop the work. Laptop computer scene, social media movement, hashtag serve with respect. A hashtag begins trending, hashtag serve with respect. Service workers from around the country start sharing their stories. A hotel maid ignored while billionaires trash her floor. A delivery driver racially profiled outside a gated community. A line cook screamed at in front of a crowd. And alongside those stories, comes hope. Stories of managers apologizing. Customers tipping better. CEOs holding listening sessions. School assemblies discussing the movement. Zara reads each post. Sometimes she smiles. Sometimes she cries. But she replies to every single one with 3 words. You are seen. Adult school scene, Zara meets with students. At a local high school, Zara is invited to speak. A young girl with braids raises her hand. How did it feel? Making someone that powerful stop and listen. Zara thinks for a moment. Scary. But necessary. Sometimes, the most dangerous thing we can do, is believe we're not allowed to take up space. The girl nods. Eyes wide with admiration. Zara walks over and gently takes her hand. You belong in every room. Don't wait for permission. Older adult medium skin tone scene, Preston visits his old neighborhood. Later, Preston drives alone through the working class neighborhood where he grew up. He parks outside a laundromat that used to be his mother's second job. The owner recognizes him. Never thought I'd see you back here. I forgot this place for a long time, Preston replies. I came to remember. He helps repaint the walls. Quietly donates funds to restore the park nearby. No press. No cameras. Just action. A boy rides past him on a bike and says, "Hey, aren't you the guy who got told off by that waitress?" Preston chuckles. Yeah. And I'm better for it. Microphone scene, joint interview, Zara and Preston. A primetime interview is scheduled. Zara reluctantly agrees. They sit side by side on a quiet stage. The host asks, "What changed between you two?" Zara answers. He stopped talking. And started listening. Preston adds. And I realized the most expensive thing I'd ever lost, was humility. The audience applauds. But more than applause, there's a shift happening. This isn't a headline anymore. It's a blueprint. Scroll scene, the foundation in action. The Zara Foundation opens 2 pilot programs in underserved cities. A grant fund for single mothers pursuing education. A dignity and equity training program for corporate hospitality staff.